Hello, today we're going to reviewing No Man's Sky. Right off the bat, loading screen. No menu, which is neat. We're going to need some frame drops because of loading. Rendering a whole planet.
Extreme night temperature detected.
So today we're going to go through 2 planets and we're going to review the game. Kind of explain what's going on. So No Man's Sky is a massive single player, I quote, single player game. You cannot encounter other players. Unfortunately, even though the developers said they could, well, hinted at least, but failed to comply. So, space exploration game. We're gonna go check out 2 planets here and review how the game functions, the day 1 patch. Let's see how it goes. It took me about, I would say, an hour to 2 hours to optimize the game's performance with my specific PC. I run a i5 4690K 3.5 gigahertz CPU. The GTX 760, so it's a pretty okay computer. You don't really need much more than that to play games. That's my 2 horn chorus. So when we come into a planet, it gets loud. Let me lower that. It gets pretty loud, and right now this flame is rendering the entire planet. Frame rate, it's okay now. It was choppy when I was streaming earlier. It was really bad. The OBS is having trouble encoding because the CPU and the OBS cannot handle this game. No Man's Sky currently is taking up 66% of my i5 3.5 gigahertz processor. And the OBS software I'm using to record this is using 20%. My CPU is spiking to 100%. No Man's Sky is hitting 80%. That is insane for a game. No game should be hitting 80% CPU. No Man's Sky is rendering and de-rendering objects around an area upon the ship, which is eating my CPU power right now, which is making the OBS and video that you are now watching extremely choppy, so I'll cut this short. A person view. My game is actually not running bad at all. It just looks choppy because of my recording and my game, but my game's perfectly fine. It's running at its 90 FPS and all good. This is play dynamic. I'll go over my controls here. My graphics. We're using bordered 130 by 760 FXAA. 90 views, max FPS, all max quality details, anisotropic is at 4. So coming down onto a planet, the frame rate is, it's okay. I need some blankets of flickering on my screen. That's a new problem. I haven't encountered flickering, so there's still lots of problems with this game day 1. Although the view's pretty nice. You can see the rendering's having some difficulty. It's not rendering this like part, the mountainside. This is close rendering where we have rocks and bushes and grass. Grass de-renders around there. So do the rocks. They de-render around here. We have the bigger objects. Then there's no rocks or grass or anything over there, so it has to render all these objects as you get closer to it. We don't see any grass there, but if we go a bit forward, it'll start appearing. So that's that. Features are pretty well designed. I'm seeing no errors on the creatures. They're pretty well diverse. seeing no bay errors on his view. Being random generated is very well done for animals. Very well done for animals. We'll take a look at some plants. The grass is 2D, pretty standard. So are some of these plants. I got hit by something. That could be anything. Take a look at some bushes here. Bush is pretty fine. Standard assets. These bushes, however, these bushes are very bad. As you can tell, these leaves move with the camera. This is Xbox level of like legit like 2000 version of asset design. Very bad. Should not be doing this.
Life support power low.
Not be doing this. Tree's okay. Color's different. Differentiate. Kind of move into objects, but that's standard. It's like Subnautica, like it feels like a post-beta. Like, I guess that's technically what it is. It's just released. It's practically a post-beta game. The sounds are spectacular. They're kind of creepy out sometimes. This tree had these leaves. They're using the 2D model on a 3D environment. This is a no. You do not do this in games. Why do they do this? This is horrible. Like, there's some cons in the asset design here. You should not be using 2D aspects on a 3D environment. Okay, so the game looks pretty good on my computer. Nothing too wrong with it. I'm not getting any frame lag anymore. Very little frame lag. But again, that took me a very long time to fix myself. Guy's called Bird Bear. Pretty good view. We'll destroy some plants, see how the frame rate holds up. Well, that'll take forever to destroy. I don't want to destroy that. We'll start heading towards the ship and going to the next planet. Yeah, my OBS is telling me high encoding because No Man's Sky is taking 60% to 80% of my CPU spikes at a standard of, I think, an average of 50%. And Broadcaster's taking 20% average. So this is a very high CPU intensive game. The minimum requirements of the i3 should not be i3. It should be probably a high level i5 in order to play this well. No problem with space travel whatsoever in this game. It's pretty well designed. The combat, I don't know much about combat. I haven't been using that much. I can't really say much about that. But there's no lag issues, nothing from space. It's when you're loading planets that you start to have problems in those cases. The planet is now rendering, eating up all my CPU. Now the planet has rendered.
Extreme Sentinel planet.
Get some lag when you leave the ship. This is an extremely cold planet. Here's a knowledge stone. Looking at the assets, this game looks good. While the graphics aren't like comparable to the high level games. This is kind of like Skyrim-ish kind of assets. Skyrim probably has a bit more detail than this, to be honest.
Units received.
Frame rate's holding out, even with recording. If I wasn't recording, the game would be running like practically flawlessly. Well, I heard that's a very rare case.
Ground protection falling.
So this is a very difficult terrain. If you love survival games, you can make it hard on yourself by farming these difficult planets, but you get high risk, high reward out of it.
Temperature levels
So if you're a survivalist player,
Extreme temperature
it's
detected.
probably a good game to get. We'll go underwater here.
Extreme water temperature detected.
So we're extreme water temperature, so we have negative 78 Celsius. Now the problem is there's nothing in the water. That's a couple plants and a couple rocks. There's nothing really worth going in the water for. Well, not in this lake at least. You'll find that a lot. I've been in a couple lakes and I haven't really found anything in a lake worth anything yet. Sometimes you get some fish that want to just eat you up, but nothing in this lake currently. There's that gravitron ball. It's very bright. Looks like a sun.
Warning. Elite Sentinel Force.
And now when you steal these high-level assets, sentinels will come to attack you and try to destroy you. I cannot fight 3 sentinels at once. That is too difficult. So we're going to go back to our cave and chill for a while. Get it? Chill. I'm so bad.
Levels stabilizing. Weapon charge depleted.
The frame rate here is pretty laggy when you're using
Incoming
explosives.
storm.
So we got kicked up to the atmosphere. No lag problems right now when I'm playing the game. Once again, there might be some in the video. High encoding errors I'm noticing in the recording. But in the game, it is running flawlessly. So if you want to record, stream, and play this game, you really need a high-end, probably an i7 or gigahertz processor at least. More CPU than graphics for this game. This is a space station. About a dozen designs of different space stations, but you'll find the same designs around. I think it's based on the type of creatures that are inside, the race that controls the station. So here we are, space station. This is where you do all your marketing and your resources and your inventory management. And your ship shopping. Ships will fly in here eventually. And this is where you can go shopping for any upgrades you want by buying any one of these ships. This ship looks pretty cool. We're gonna check it out. Here's when language comes to play. So earlier I picked up a language stone probably. And you want to learn languages so you can talk to entities, so you can actually do what they want. Like, so you can get better rewards by choosing the right choices. If you just have this, you might not have the right choices. You'd have to guess and get lucky. So we're going to look at the ship. This is usually how you buy something new, something upgrades. You can find these assets around the world. There's hundreds of these different kind of levels of assets. Warp hyperdrives, pulse engines, all that stuff. This ship is pretty crap for 1.6 million, so we're not gonna buy that ship. We come over here and you can interact with this guy. There's usually something you can get out of it. The important part is trading in the game. How you buy and trade resources in this game. You can sell whatever you want. We got 2 of those balls from the planet for $50,000. That's a lot of money. I'll be going back to that planet after this review to farm up some. Zinc, titanium. We need lots of titanium for the planet. It repairs your physical items like your suit and your ship, and red items like carbon or power reservoirs, whatever. Red items increase your energy consumptions, and yellow can be morphed into different objects. Green is more retail, you sell, and that sums that up. And you can buy whatever you want. Buy fuel, buy resources, buy the baselines of purchasing or creating objects. So that sums up the space station. So when you discover planets, solar systems, you can name them whatever. Play this random red planet. You get money for naming conventions. You can name almost everything in the game, practically. All planets, all animals, all plants, all solar systems. I think your ship too. I haven't found a way to name a ship yet. I'm sure it's there. Mars with a Z.
Units received.
You get money for it. And now it's uploaded online. So if someone encounters my planet, Planet Mars, they'll have my name on it. And that's how far the multiplayer goes. Naming conventions, just like Spore. You have creatures, you name them, you build them, people see them. Same here. You don't interact with people. This is not multiplayer. Once you're bored of the system, you go to the map screen, and this place is large. Very large. As you can see on my star map, I'm 175,000 light years from the core. It shows the date, it shows the class of systems, the planets. And we can go to free range mode and we can select another star and we can warp to it. No problem warping to it. It uses a bit of fuel, you have to restore your fuel when you run out. And that's how you traverse the stars in a nutshell. You can scan. Perhaps you'll find something, but you have to head to the center of the universe. You don't have to, but this is the main goal of the game. So I rate the game a 6 out of 10. It's very vast. You see I'm still going, all these stars are passing by. Every one of these stars is selectable. You can go to every one of these stars. And it won't end. Ever. We're in one galaxy. I think there's multiple galaxies. I'm pretty sure, because the galaxy has a name, so why not? You will almost never encounter another player. In fact, probably the best way to counter another player's material is right in the center. That's where people will be. People are going in the same location. If you want to see some assets, you go to the center. I've been doing this for almost, what, a minute and a half now? Let's take a look at a star. $158,000 light years away. I started at 177,000 light years away. So I've gained just under 10,000 light years. In a minute and a half of fast forwarding through the galaxy. You do not travel that fast, that's for sure. I've done the math, and if you were to manually, without shortcuts, traverse the galaxy, it will take you far more than I expected, of 1,000 hours. When the game was spoiled early, and the result was 30 hours to reach the center of the galaxy, they buffed up the galaxy 10 times its size. Now it's much, much larger. Shortcuts aren't as short, I should say. It takes a long time to get into the game and into the center of the galaxy. 1,000 hours of normal traveling. It'll be pretty rare to get to the center, I think. So that's pretty much my review. It's a very fun game. Exploration game. I like the game. It's probably not for everyone. I love Spore. I played Spore a lot. This game is a bigger improvement on Spore. It has lots of issues. Some people can't start the game. Some people it just crashes at the first planet. Some people have major frame rate issues like I did yesterday. Major issues. Gave me a headache and a migraine trying to play this game. But I fixed it after an hour of work. You have to work at it to get it perfectly running your machine. They are patching the game. Hopefully they do a good job. Within the coming weeks, they patch the game. Do I recommend getting the game right now? Probably not. You might want to chill a week or two until they fix some issues, then it's probably worth picking up. As for the $60 issue, AAA title, it's worth $60. It's better than most games I paid for $60. Look at Call of Duty. That shit. That shit's so bad. I bought the Call of Duty Ghosts for $60. And that game was shit. So if you want to compare like certain games, this game can be worth your $60. So it's not much of an argument for some people. Say it's worth giving a try. Give it a week or two. See if they fix the issues. Then give it a try. They're having major problems right now. This is patch 1, day 0 game. Let's see how it turns out in a couple weeks. This is No Man's Sky. And for that, have a good day.